Episode 2, Cruelty, Savagery, Lanzarote. Why in the name of Jehoshaphat's holy socks would anyone vaguely sentient begin a world tour in the Canary Island of Lanzarote? Why, given the run of the whole Atlantic Ocean, its islands and its seaboards, would some quarter-witted Hancock choose Lanzarote, an island whose name conjures up kiss-me-quick hats, donkeys on black sand beaches, Skegness with sunshine? Talk about giving a dog a bad name. Damn Boris, with contenders like St Kilda and the beautiful Azores, not to mention Madeira, there must be something pretty special about this lump of still smouldering volcanic rock. Well, the reasons for choosing Lanzarote can be summed up in the favourite phrase of teenagers everywhere: it's so unfair. Lanzarote is, in my opinion, one of the hidden gems I hope to find for you on this little world tour. Yet it is the target of much misunderstanding and derision. We humans can be a cruel lot. Our words can inflict pain and lasting damage, and being misunderstood can be maddening, even when it is done with no ill intent. Just ask a mute with no facial expression and zero body language. No need. You can take my word for it, and it's pretty damn frustrating for the loved ones too. But sometimes the harm is intentional. Children are potential human beings and they can say the most hurtful things too. But at least they don't hide behind words like forthright, straight talking, or my favorite, feisty. We may not acknowledge it, even to ourselves, but there is a bit of the Spanish Inquisition in all of us, and no one expects that. Most of us try to suppress our own cruel streak, but we secretly find verbal humiliation irresistible. Like rubbernecking on the motorway. Ludwig van Beethoven is a case in point. How can someone compose such beautiful music and manage to be so rude? There is of course no excuse for bad manners, but wouldn't it have been great to have followed old Lud round Vienna as he snubbed the emperor and insulted a rival composer? I liked your opera. I am thinking of setting it to music. Failing that, we could savor the subtlety of a listener's message to Desert Island Discs, the venerable show which has been interviewing the great and the good, the famous and the infamous since radio was in black and white. The letter starts with praise and then blows the more recent shows out of the water in 7 seemingly innocuous words. Why don't you do a celebrity version? And who could resist the savage charms of an old newspaper article on President Nixon getting the all clear after a cancer biopsy, which read, "They managed to find the only part of the president that wasn't malignant." Or perhaps it wasn't Nixon. If it's factual accuracy you want, I've heard Google is very good. At the moment you are inside my brain and I see no reason to let a few facts get in the way, or, as my Yiddish-speaking friend would say, Google schmoggle. So how can I explain what, in our brave new post-truth world, is so great about Lanzarote? I would not call it a secret, and I run the risk of preaching to the converted here, but it passes most tourists by. The answer is an architect called Cesar Manrique. Now I am not normally a fan of architecture, particularly the modern kind. It's like marmalade, fine to have on holiday, but I wouldn't think of buying it at home. In the spirit of my new policy, I have taken liberties with the geography and history. Manrique's Lanzarote houses are spread all over the island and across the central decades of the 20th century. The builders of the world's great constructions have sought to inspire astonishment, reverence, peace, fulfillment. For me, a Malaysian food court covers pretty well all the bases, but there are precious few which make you think, yet make you feel at home. true, they are built to fit in with a particular environment, and one very different from our own. Still bubbling volcanoes, minimal rainfall and punishing winds may not be conditions we would normally feel at home in, unless you are sitting in a Manrique house like I am. Come on in, have a nose around, pull up a chair and soak in the atmosphere. This house is meant to be lived in, and we should try to do that, if only for a short while. And what will you see? A large jagged hole in the ground, set in what looks like a savage Martian landscape, but in a less inviting color scheme. Jagged stone rivers full of shapes more twisted than my own, left behind by the cooling lava flows, that look down into the hole, and you can make out a smart patio with tropical foliage, open to the elements, surrounded by whitewashed walls, with plenty of doors and windows. The style is modern, although that means half a century old, but its roots are ancient. Apart from a fence to stop friends from dropping in, you would never know there was anything there at all. I could ask myself if it is real or surreal. Instead, I stand there gawping like a goldfish and thinking, what could possibly be better than this? Mars with all mod cons, Pluto with plumbing. But you need to go down the steps and into the rooms to appreciate how this house gives you a feeling of being at home and yet in harmony with nature. One room, for instance, is dominated by a picture window overlooking a black lava flow heading straight for you. Follow it with your eyes and you will see it carries on inside the room. You are standing in a petrified puddle of the stuff. And so it goes on. Maybe these strange buildings are a sign that there's more to Lanzarote than meets the eye. If they are art, then it's art to make you nod your head and smile. We can all do that, even me, although, if you didn't know me well, you would be hard-pressed to know that's what I was doing. Don't get me wrong, I am all for sunshine, beach life, scenic tours, good food and wine. I just feel you deserve a little more than that, an extra dimension. And as to whether it's art or not, who gives a flying buttress? Art smart. In the links below there is a little taster of some other delights the island has to offer. Sail with me now to the next stop in the city of St. John. Did I forget to tell you to bring seasickness pills? No worries, you'll be fine.